Hello everyone, welcome back. I want to share with you guys my new Radical RPR 5.56 caliber. I just got this in. I finished zeroing it in. The RPR refers to the rail system. They give you a couple of different options on their website. I got the one that was the most skeletonized. Okay, so basically it's an M-lock system with lots of other holes in it. It makes for a really, nice light gun. And I got on it the holosun 503g. That's the red dot that has the ACSS reticle. It's a bullet drop compensator. So really cool red dot. I've used a bunch of these in the past. It's one of my favorite red dots out there. So I finished zeroing this in at 100 yards. After I finished zeroing it in, I've got a nice grouping of 1 3/4 inches. Okay, from the two furthest points, and then if you discard that one right there, I've got a nice cluster here of less than 1 inch. So this rifle has a lot of potential to be a sub 1 MOA rifle. I'm planning to test that out. I'm going to get a magnifier. I've not really worked too much with magnifiers behind red dots before, so I'm planning to get rid of the backup sights and put a magnifier behind it over here and see what type of groupings I can get with this consistently. But I really like the rifle. I've had a lot of experience with Radical. I bought this one back in 2016. It's got a lot of wear on it. This is a workhorse for me. I use this a lot as I'm traveling around training people. This is kind of like my go-to training gun for training people. As you can see, it's all scratched up. It's got a lot of wear. This thing's been through mud, snow, through everything. So it's done a lot of work. Now, I did have some issues with this rifle along the way. Back in 2016, again, that was the year that Hillary was going to be president. There was a buying panic. Companies were rushing ARs into production. Quality control had dropped a little bit. Plus, Radical back then was a pretty new company, so I had a couple issues with this. The buffer spring, buffer tube had to be changed. Radical took care of all that for me. That was creating problems with the rifle locking open in the last round. The gas tube moved, so that was another issue that had to be corrected. Yeah, there were some issues, but Radical took care of this. I typically go through, I typically burn through an AR trigger every 10,000 rounds. This rifle has 20,000 rounds on it. I'm up to about, I'm past 20,000 rounds. Been through 2 of the mil-spec triggers. In both cases, Radical sent me a new one. They've actually, when I broke the extractors on this rifle, because again, every 10,000 rounds, I'm usually breaking an extractor. Radical sent me a whole new bolt carrier group, so they've been really good with that. And that's the reason why I went back to them. Same situation. Right now we're 2020, another election year, buying panic going on. People buying anything they can find, and ARs are kind of scarce. So I went to Radical, bought this under the same circumstances. Now I have not had a chance to shoot this gun to the point where it gets hot. Because until you get the gun hot, you're really not sure, what you have. Because when the gun gets hot, when you shoot like 3 magazines through it, the gun gets hot, and then if there's any problems, they're gonna start presenting themselves. But as far as the grouping, like I said, an 1 3/4 inches at 100 yards with a 1 inch cluster. Once I get the magnifier on this, I expect that I should be hitting those 1 inch groups pretty consistently. Overall, I'm pretty happy with Radical. Anytime I had a problem, they took care of it. No, I don't get paid by them or anything. They don't know who I am. They don't know anything about me. The guns are practical. That one I bought pretty cheap back then. I think I paid $500 for that one. This one I paid more. I think it was closer to, somewhere around $800. I forget exactly how much. But I think that all that is in the rail. Back then I just got the base rail that they had and the base stock. This one over here, it comes with a stock that you can mount the QD on. It's pretty tight. There's no wobble on it. So it's a pretty good stock that it came with. It says B5 on it. B5. I'm not familiar with that, but it's pretty tight stock. It's got a really nice rail. And like I said, I'm pretty happy with the grouping, so I'm looking forward to testing this rifle out a lot more. It took me, I think, about 4 weeks to actually have the rifle delivered to my FFL. So just wanted to share that with you guys. Really happy with this grouping over here. It's a nice tight. The way I, by the way, the 503g from holosun, the scope that I'm using, it has a chevron. So at 100 yards, basically the whole paper kind of functions as a bullseye. So I don't want, I don't try putting a bullseye or something in here because you can't see it. My eyes aren't that good. So the whole paper functions as a bullseye, and I put the chevron right at the bottom over here. So basically I put my chevron here or someplace along over here, hard to tell at 100 yards, and that's the grouping that I got. So that's why my groups are at the bottom, because I put my chevron right at the bottom of the paper. Because this paper looks like a dot at 100 yards when I'm looking through the scope. So if you guys are not a member of my channel, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon.